Welcome back, everybody. I'm back with another hit. Right now, I'm about to cut one of my good friends, Cerebellio. He usually gets a comb over with the ball fade, nothing too crazy. I'm glad to say that I got my good comb with me. I like using my YS part combs. They help me part a lot of the hair. So what we're going to do now is we're going to saturate the hair. I usually do the ball fade on the top first, but today I decided to take the hair off the top and style it first so it would be a little bit easier just because Cerebellio has thick, dark hair. Normally this haircut usually takes an hour. With him it takes at least an hour 15, maybe 30. That's if I have to do the beard. So what I'm doing right now is just sectioning off the hair from the part of the front all the way going to the crown of the head in the back. Remember, don't go past the knuckle. Shout out to Hanzo's. I'm using their shears right now. They've always done me wonders. Thank you to you guys. Me and Cerebellio back then used to work together at our elementary school. So we have a lot of history together, and I've been cutting his hair for roughly around 5 years. So thank you, Cerebellio, for always supporting me. Right now, what we're going to do now is after I cross check the top of the hair, I'm going to go diagonally so we can see if I got any loose hairs that need to get cut off. Now, when you do the cross check, you always want to stretch the hair up and never go past the first knuckle. That's a lot of the quickest way for you to get cuts on your wrist, on your knuckle, or on your finger. Always take your time. I'm showing you guys right now how you can cross check. It's not that hard. I suggest you always get a comb that you're more comfortable with. Don't always switch off. If you have a client with black hair, use a brighter comb. If you have a client with blonde hair or brown hair, use a darker comb so you can contrast and see what you're cutting and how much you're cutting. Don't forget to always blow the hair off your client or brush it off. Right now I'm going to use my T Outliners Frank the Barber edition with the chameleon blade. I'm going to set my first guideline. Always remember to take your time, never rush. Adjust the client's head shape just if you need him to look down, look up. Remember, he can move. I've noticed if I do use these clippers, I have to be gentle to set my first guideline or I will set a harsh line and I won't be able to get that out. Big tip for all you new barbers, always bend the ear when you're cutting around it. You don't want to nick him. Take your time. Shout out to Valencia for getting me these blades. Valencia Supplies is who supplies me with all my good gadgets. Never have any bad complaints. If your clippers cannot do this, you either need to oil them or zero gap them. If they're getting jammed up, then your clippers are not sharp enough. Now, roughly, this haircut usually takes me around 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour. With Cerebellio, this does take at least an hour, hour 15. He does have thick, dark hair, and just to bald it out takes a long time. Remember to always have a straight guideline. So I'm going to make my first guideline, which is the bald guideline. And I'm going to leave at least an inch thick so I can blur that out with my liners. Now, thank you to Ezzy, my babe, for buying me these balders back when I was at barber school 6 years ago. They still work perfectly fine. I just need to always get new foil every once in a while, the shaving foil for the top of the balders. But other than that, they work wonders. Thank you. Now, you guys see that inch guideline? I'm going to use my balders to get that out. And all you're doing is just flicking out the line, trying to erase the line. Now, I'm doing it pretty fast just because I'm used to doing it. There's no rush. Take your time. Always flick out, stretch the ear. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set our second guideline, which is the clipper open. We're going to do another inch and flick out. I'm using the magic clips right now, the gold magic clips. Again, shout out to Valencia. I got those from him as well. Now I like to tell people, go to the head shape of your client. If the occipital bone in the back is higher, lower, if his head is more flat in the back, go for the head shape. His head is very versatile, so I can always go low, high. I can taper it, ball fade it. So what we did is we just went straight across. And now all we're going to do is just take that line out and just lower the lever and flick out. Like I said, there's no rush. Take your time. Right there you can see that there's still some dark line, and I'll have to go back with my liners to get that out. People, if you have a client with thick dark hair, don't be scared to go down a guard. As you can see, I'm always adjusting his head so I can see the better lighting and see what I'm flicking out. Don't bend down. You can move the client's head. You can adjust the seat. Make it easier for you. So right now I'm just taking out that line with my, I believe it's the Patrick Edition clippers. And I have the gold FX blade on those. I use different liners for different things. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the one closed and set our next guideline. Remember to always flick out, brush, clean your canvas. Now you guys tell me, do you guys like using these magic clips or do you guys like using seniors? Me personally, I'm more of a Gamma man. Ever since I got to use Gamma, I love the Gamma Ergos, the Plus, the SCs. But these are always great to play with. Once we set our first one guard line guideline, we're going to use the 1/16 or the 1/2, and we're going to open it all the way up and just flick out. Don't forget to bend the ear when you are around the ear. There's no rush. Like I said, take your time. Remember to use your corners of the clipper. Now I could not get that 1/16 line out, so I'm going to use the no guard all the way open and just tap at that line. Some people, you just can't rush or skip steps. You just have to go through the motion and do every guard and go through the lever, bigger to smaller. Once we do that, we're going to use the 1.5 closed, and we're going to set our next guideline. Remember to flick out. Once you get higher, it's better to flick out so it blends in to the crown of the head so you don't dig in. To all my new barbers, I do suggest getting a blow dryer so you can just blow all that excess hair off of your client. What I'm doing now is I'm getting the one all the way open and I'm flicking out, softening up that guideline so you can see that blurry fade. An easy thing to do if you are starting to cut hair is set all your guidelines first and then come back down and fade it down. I think I'm going to do that next so I can show you guys an easier way. Let's get this to 20 likes and I can do that video. Now don't forget we're located in Novato, 1559A, South Novato Boulevard. Make an appointment with me or one of the guys. We're always available. Now this is a big tip for new barbers is you're going to do clipper over comb to do the bridge. So we're going to start the part of his hair. This is going to have you have more of a precise guideline and it won't make you flare up and buzz hair that you want on the side of the hair and the top of the head. After I use my 2 to set that guideline, I'm going to use my 1.5 open and I'm going to soften up that line. Like I said, there's no rush. Take your time, flick out. You guys tell me, do you guys like using gloves or no gloves? I know this is a big thing in the barber community. You guys tell me what you like. Now you can tell I still have a dark line, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 1 open just to soften up that line one more time. Now a funny fact with me is I learned how to cut coarse hair before I learned how to cut straight hair. So cutting straight hair is always fun for me because this is something that it took me a while to learn, as learning how to do afro shape ups and waves and all that was a lot easier. Remember to always bring down the lever every time and go a little bit lower to get that line out. What I'm doing now is I'm just doing clipper over comb just to get the crown of the head blended in together. What you want to do is you want to go in and then pull out and go higher. You don't want to go be straight parallel to the crown of the head. So what I like to do is I like to start off with the beard and go clipper no guard all the way open and fade up. Start bringing down the lever and start fading up so you can blend it. Now I'm going to use the 1 all the way open just to set my first guideline and blend down. All we're doing is just softening up his beard. He doesn't like it super low, so we're going to keep as much bulk and fullness there. Flicking out is always your best friend. Please don't rake. Now we're using the 1.5 all the way open just to soften up that line just a little more. Now if you can't get that line out, always go to the next guard below it, which is my 1 open, and I'm going to just flick that line out. With the 2 guard, what we're going to do is we're going to just soften up the bottom of the jawline. And with the 1.5, we're just going to lightly touch right below the earlobe. All we're doing is we're creating an illusion. That's all it is, nothing too crazy. So I'm back with my Frank the Barber liners. And he doesn't get a full lineup, so it's just the corners. Always go down and pull away from the temples. As you can see, I go down and pull back to set the perfect guideline. So his beard does not go fully up, which is perfectly fine. That's why we set the illusion and make it a higher blend on the top of the beard so it can look as full as possible. What I use is I use the corner of the blade just to go down. Now he's growing out his beard. It's No Shave November, so we're not really going to take anything off of it. All we're going to do is just line it up. I really do like these clippers. I can use them for a lot of things, and when I do use beard shape ups, I use these a lot. The chameleon blade again is just so good. So Babyliss, thank you for you guys for always upping up your clippers and making us satisfied. Like I said, I go down and pull away. I believe a fade is perfect and makes a haircut, but I just think having a beard lined up and faded just complements the fade in the haircut and makes everything all better. If you have a perfect haircut and a messed up beard, I just feel like it's just ruined. Now, I got my razor and I'm going to stretch the skin and use the blade at an angle so I don't cut him or scratch him. Always stretch the skin away from him. Use your thumb to stretch the skin. Now, if his hair is too rough or it does not want to cut, get some shaving gel. Not everyone can do this. Some skin gets irritated. We've done this so many times where he can do it, and we don't need all that shaving cream or shaving gel and hot towel. And that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tune in, like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at blessedbyabe, TikTok barbers_avenue. If you have anyone that's trying to look for haircuts or how to cut hair, send them this video. It will give them a lot to look for and just to see what a good haircut is. Thank you, you guys.